Prix de Triomphe. But first on for Football Italia, introduced by Roberto Baggio.
Napoli Juventus live.
Campionato di calcio italiano.
Rome is still in the grip of Gazzamania. Paul Gascoigne continues to dominate the headlines in the Italian papers. Last week's injury scare proved to be nothing to worry about, and Gazza is expected to play in today's home game against the cup holders Parma. Gazza might be getting all the headlines, but England's David Platt has already made a goal-scoring debut for Juventus. But like Gazza, he's found that in Italy you can take nothing for granted. The rule on 3 foreigners meant that Platt spent the first 2 Sundays in the stands. But today he hopes to be facing the new Superman of Italian football, Gianfranco Zola, the man they call the second Maradona.
Io faccio del mio meglio, ecco, per acquistare sempre più fiducia da parte dei miei compagni. Ripeto, io credo che l'importante alla fine, più che i discorsi personali, vadano a buon fine con il discorso di gruppo. Questo è il mio intendimento. Mi fa piacere comunque che i miei compagni abbiano fiducia in me.
For me, Zola is the one that makes them tick. He's the one that makes them play, and he's always likely to turn a game.
Last season, Juventus took maximum points from their games with Napoli. This goal from Luigi De Agostini deciding things in Naples. Then followed an impressive 3-1 win in Turin. Penalty specialist Roberto Baggio made the most of 2 spot kicks before Giancarlo Marocchi weighed in with this rare strike. Napoli's consolation came from the now departed Michele Padovani. Juventus finished last season runners-up to Milan, but they were always adrift as champions. Napoli were pipped by Torino for 3rd place, but they still qualified for the place in the UEFA Cup. Juve's Roberto Baggio finished the campaign with 18 goals, the league's 2nd top scorer behind Milan's Marco van Basten. At Napoli, it was the Brazilian star, Antonio Careca, with 15. History shows that in 108 Serie A games, Juventus are straight ahead, although matters have been far more even in recent years. The Napoli coach, Claudio Ranieri, has spent heavily this summer. His task is a tough one, to revive the glory days of the Maradona era, when Napoli twice won the championship. He's got Brazil's Careca and Italy's Zola. This season, they've been joined by the Swedish midfielder Jonas Tern, a 2 million buy from Benfica, and the Uruguayan striker Daniel Fonseca, a £6 million acquisition from Cagliari. He's already repaid a large part of that fee with 10 goals so far, including 5 in Napoli's UEFA Cup win in Valencia.
Che dopo 2 anni di esperienza va in una squadra come il Cagliari, dove ho maturato tantissimo, dove ho capito il calcio italiano, credo che sono abbastanza tempo, 2 anni, come per poter dimostrare di essere una squadra grande quello che vale Fonseca, no?
Insomma, è importante quello di non mollare mai, stare sempre lì disposta e con molta voglia di fare bene, ma forse in un sbaglio di Milan possiamo andare lì vicino, ma comunque c'è tutto un campionato da giocare e cercheremo di fare bene.
Although Juve finished second at the table, 8 points separated them from the champions Milan. That prompted immediate action from owner Gianni Agnelli, also the billionaire owner of Fiat. He splashed more than £20 million in the transfer market this summer, including £12 million on the Sampdoria striker Gianluca Vialli, £2 million on Germany's Andreas Müller, and £6.5 million on our own David Platt. They'll be joining Juve's existing stars like Brazil's Julio Cesar and the Italian golden boy Roberto Baggio.
No, è una partita difficile perché io considero il Napoli anche una squadra tra le pretendenti allo scudetto e credo che domenica sarà una partita difficilissima perché loro hanno già perso una partita in casa con l'Inter e per cui avranno sicuramente il dente avvelenato, anche perché noi l'anno scorso andammo a giocare a Napoli e riuscimmo a vincere 1-0.
It's very difficult for David, for me and for Jürgen Köhler and for Julio Cesar. But it's not a problem for me and for David, it's a problem for Juventus.
Juventus are known in Italy as La Vecchia Signora, the grand old lady. They've won the title 22 times and every available trophy in world club football. Last season they brought back coach Giovanni Trapattoni, the architect of their last title success in 1986.
Abbiamo acquistato David Platt, abbiamo acquistato Vialli, è arrivato il tedesco Müller, che si sono aggiunti al gruppo già piuttosto valido della passata stagione, quindi riteniamo di essere quantomeno i diretti antagonisti del Milan.
Both sides are expected to qualify for Europe, but both are struggling to find consistent form. Juve are unbeaten, but if they have serious designs on the title, they need to start winning. Despite the millions spent on strengthening the squad, Napoli have had an indifferent start. 2 draws against lowly opposition and a home defeat at the hands of Inter Milan have sapped confidence. The only bright spot has been a 4-2 win at Foggia and some spectacular finishing. Juventus may be unbeaten this season, but only 1 win in 4 games is a poor return on a multi-million-pound sum investment. Their win came in Turin, 4-1 over Atalanta. But it needed David Platt to salvage a point in Germany. Last week, their defence handed Roma an undeserved point. Both teams should be doing better, and both will be desperate for a win today in Napoli's San Paolo Stadium, where a 75,000 crowd is expecting one of the games of the season. Coming up, Napoli versus Juventus live.
Good afternoon to you from Peter Brackley, week 5 of the Italian League campaign, and our feature match today then takes us once again to the Sao Paulo Stadium in Naples. And our first chance to assess the awesome talent assembled this season by one of the great clubs of world football, Juventus. Like Napoli, they've stumbled a little fortuitously in the early matches, but such is their burning desire to acquire again the famous Scudetto shield worn by the Italian champions. It'll be a major shock, I'm sure, if a serious tilt at the title doesn't gather pace for them over the next few months. Fierce competition for places at Juve, so much so that despite his huge transfer fee from Bari, England's David Platt has to sit this one out today. Giovanni Trapattoni, Juve's talismanic coach, has preferred instead the foreign trio of Julio Cesar from Brazil and the German pair Jürgen Kohler and Andreas Merlin. Well, here's the Napoli side, the one significant change from the last time we saw them 2 weeks ago. The return after injury of the Brazilian star, Antonio Careca. For my money, one of the truly outstanding strikers in world football. Fabulous control, balance and finishing power. His goals are so important to Napoli. Otherwise, it's mainly the side that started against Inter. Careca's partnership up front with the Uruguayan Daniel Fonseca, potentially one of the most exciting in Serie A. Well, in contrast to Milan's huge squad, Juve's is actually one of the smallest in the Italian league. But what gifted players Trapattoni has at his disposal. As well as the overseas stars, there's Vialli and Roberto Baggio, of course. Carrera, Dino Baggio and Gallia are all Italian internationals as well. Two of the Italian league's leading protagonists then in conflict today. Napoli and Juve, though, have both won only once so far. And already, even at this early stage of the season, there's some pressure to improve on results, with a message ringing out loud and clear from the champions of Milan: catch us if you can. It's an overcast day in Naples, a tingling atmosphere in this soccer-mad city for one of the big fixtures of the Serie A season. And it looks to be a near full house of around 75,000. Well, alongside me in the commentary position today is Paul Elliott. Paul now of Chelsea, but of course a former Pisa player. Had a couple of seasons with Pisa just a short while ago. So, Paul, welcome to the team, and I wonder what your thoughts are on this game coming up today.
Well, I think it's hopefully going to be a marvellous game. There's an abundance of talent on view here. I'm interested looking at Juventus. Carrera, Torellini has come in as well. Obviously, the threat of Careca, Zola and Fonseca is clearly evident, and obviously they're going to eradicate that.
Vialli and Baggio, two of the big names, the star names in this Juventus side, but so many internationals on view. As Juventus then get us underway, attacking from right to left as we look out, and they'll have to start again. The referee isn't happy, and they can't mess around with this fellow, Piero Ceccherini. He sent 10 players off in his 13 Serie A games last season. And in fact, there is a minute's silence here before the game can start. And that, in fact, was in memory of a Serie B player who sadly was killed in a car accident earlier this week, Cadena. So now the game can get underway. Juventus about to kick off. Both sides having survived in Europe in midweek, not surprisingly really. They had big wins in the first legs. And they're certain to be strong contenders for the UEFA Cup, both Juventus and Napoli. I must just ask you, Paul, first of all, how are your injuries progressing? Of course, out of the game at the moment.
Yeah, it's a lot better at the moment. I'm feeling a lot easier. I've had a repair to the lateral ligament, and let's hope I'll be back very soon.
So much of what Gaz has gone through, you've been going through lately.
Yes, but Gaz he's made a very good speed recovery, as we've witnessed last week.
Baggio's touch, it goes Gallia. You'll see plenty of him in the midfield area. He's a very influential player, Roberto Gallia, and indeed was the most effective player for Juventus last season. A campaign in which they finished runners-up in both League and Cup. And that, by Juventus's high standards, is just not good enough. Goal kick to Napoli. Just looking through the lineups. It's a rather defensive formation, you have to say, that Juventus have put out today. Torricelli coming into the side, and they've left out Paolo Di Canio, who's a flowing winger, so they decided to dispense with his services today in their efforts to keep in check the likes of Fonseca, Zola, and Careca. This is Carrera. He'll be one of the markers at the back, with Julio Cesar. The Brazilian has the sweeper. That's as we understand it anyway. Ferrara, who's the captain of Napoli, having taken over the role from Diego Maradona when his suspension began. Ferrara, a former Italian international, and a very classy defender, and a very obdurate one too. The onus turn now, the Swede. The onus on Napoli to attack Juventus today. And they certainly missed Careca up front when we saw them 2 weeks ago. He's such a valuable player for them. Jan Forente came in to play alongside Fonseca, and they really lacked a cutting edge to break down into. There's Julio Cesar. Played for Brazil back in the 1986 World Cup finals in Mexico, and he's proved to be really at £100,000 the bargain buy so far for the 90s. Back from Montpellier in France. Fonseca. Here's Careca now. And Juventus just looking a little hesitant at the back. Zola dispossessed though by Vialli. He of the shaven head. Up goes Conte, but it's Vialli now chasing. Taken on by Tarantino. And the challenge was a fair one. And the referee in fact has given the free kick to Napoli.
That was a very good interception actually by Tarantino. Obviously it's a very big game for him. He's only made 18 games in the first division. Obviously he showed that he's a very competent defender and not intimidated of Vialli's presence.
Yes, he's keeping out Franchini still, a very experienced defender who'd been a regular with Napoli in recent seasons. Tarantino has done so well, he's continued to keep his place. Who's taken over the captaincy of Juventus this season with Tacconi, the goalkeeper, having moved on to Genoa. So added responsibility for Baggio. And no one told him there that Fonseca was herring in behind him. Vialli now. So dangerous up front, Vialli, and already looking a menacing figure. Oh, Napoli living very dangerously indeed. Cesar. And really in a roundabout way it's Julio Cesar who's keeping out David Platt. The feeling is that Möller is going to play, Jürgen Kohler is going to play, and the only way David Platt can get a regular place in the side is if they switch the defensive strategy and leave out Julio Cesar. Been speaking to David Platt's agent this morning. More about that in a moment. David Platt disappointed, of course, not to be in the side. With Baggio now, and a shot from Baggio, and a goal from Baggio. What a cracking start for Juve. And there we saw the finishing power and the expertise of Baggio. Just 5 minutes gone. He was the bookmaker's favourite to score the first goal, and he's duly obliged.
Well, that's excellent. I mean, Baggio in possession of the ball, 4 defenders around him. I mean, that's what makes him such a truly world-class player. He's got the ability to improvise, to do the things that other players can't normally do, and it's a marvellous start for Juventus.
Well, he was, as Paul was saying, they're surrounded by defenders. There just seemed no way that he could find a path to goal there. But he just waited for the right moment and steered it delightfully into the corner. Baggio with his first goal in Serie A this season. Zola, typical piece of trickery from him. And a comfortable catch for Angelo Peruzzi, who's taken over Ponticoni in the Juventus goal this season. Baggio, who's not playing up front with Vialli, he's got a midfield role. But he showed there the old finishing power is still very much intact. Zola. That's a correct look by him. Fonseca's in the middle. Hoping for a good service here. Correca arriving too. Party. Very promising start to the game. Policano. Here's Party. Now that's a turn. Knocked over by Torricelli. Napoli coming straight back at the throats of Juventus. An injury to one of the Juve players. I think Jurgen Kohler, indeed it is, who's down there. He was out through injury last week, came back for the European game in the week and scored, in fact. And he's a man, Paul, they can ill afford to lose.
Oh, he's absolutely magnificent. I think certainly one of the world's premier markers. He's going to be very important, certainly at this moment in time.
Well, they call him Iron Foot. He's got a sore head at the moment. 10. Zola. He'll be pulling the strings for Napoli. There's Ferrara. And the version on that one could do better. Angelo Peruzzi, who's something of a controversial character, who was actually banned for a year. Ranieri, the coach of Napoli, looking on. Wondering if his team can recover from this very early setback. Peruzzi, as I was saying, he failed the drugs test, a lengthy ban, but it was during that ban that Juve showed faith in him and decided to sign him up from Roma. And he's one of the most promising goalkeepers in Italian football. He may come under some examination today. So will Zola's qualities, that's for sure. He's going to be a marked man. Stepped into the shoes of Diego Maradona. Matazola, as he's known. Policano. It must have been a real blow for them to concede that early goal, Paul, but they've come back quite brightly here.
Yeah, well, I think Zola in particular, I think his presence is going to bear a significant influence on the game. We know what Zola can do. He's a man that's got outstanding qualities, particularly his all-round ability and his ability to run at players. I do feel him and Baggio is going to be an interesting confrontation, with obviously Baggio leading the way at the moment, scoring the first goal.
Scored 18 last term for Baggio. Only Marco Van Basten in the Italian league scored more. Fonseca, who's got 10th so far for Napoli. Foul on Ferrara. I was just saying earlier about David Platt, and David's being very philosophical about being left out of the side. He feels perhaps it's his turn. They have switched around with the four foreigners. That's Zola losing out there. But Platt seems to be playing one senior game every week, so he's keeping himself in trim and certainly in contention. And he always knew it was going to be hard getting a regular place in this side. Rampaging figure down that Napoli left. New signing from Torino. It's Correca now, and the shot from Fonseca.
That was a very, very good effort. What impressed me was the Policano coming down the line, very naturally left-sided, and he's played a sensible ball in. But obviously, Fonseca showing that he's a threat. Obviously, the onus now is on Napoli to come forward.
Yes, they're forming a very exciting partnership up front. Correca and Fonseca. Fonseca with 6 goals in Europe and 4 in the league already. Policano. Free kick to Juve. Cesar taking the kick up in search of Vialli. Two Juve players, they're going for the same ball. Comfortable catch for Giovanni Galli, the goalkeeper for Napoli. This is Fonseca leaving the throw for Carbone, who's come back into the side in place of Crippa. Barreca challenging, but to no avail. Barreca, who scored a fabulous goal earlier in the season against Foggia, but then had 2 games out through injury. On from Gallia. This is turn. Zola. Lovely change of pace then from Zola. Dino Baggio. No relation to Roberto. Vialli. Fouled by Carbone on Vialli. £12 million Juventus paid for him. Says the referee. This is Gallia, and that'll go safely back to Galli. Julio Cesar with plenty of time here. Dino Baggio. Zola, he does take up such youthful positions, and there was no one there on the end of the cross, just too long for the likes of Barreca and Fonseca. Dini on a casual pass. Barreca did well there to shake off the challenge. Julio Cesar trying to clear. He's an awesome figure at the back, Julio Cesar. Now here's Baggio, just tucking it in for Vialli. Corradini in quickly with the tackle. Hearing that Lazio have taken the lead against Parma, Paul Gascoigne's club, of course, and it's Giuseppe Signori, the scorer from the penalty spot. Guess who was brought down? Paul Gascoigne. Sampdoria are 1-up away to Torino, the leaders. It's an own goal there. And Fiorentina are a goal up against Milan, Baiano. Milan, who haven't lost this season and didn't lose a single game in the last campaign either. Maybe that's going to change today. Fiorentina in fabulous, sparkling form. So confirmation, obviously, that Paul Gascoigne has started that game for Lazio today. And among the spectators, England manager Graham Taylor wanted to check on his fitness. Good start for Gaza by the sound of it. 15 minutes gone here, and it's been an excellent start for Juventus, leading by a goal to nil. Roberto Baggio on 5 minutes. Zola through, almost linking them with Carbone. A little bit of misunderstanding in the back. Julio Cesar and Cola going for the same ball. Vialli right back there helping out. Excellent play there. Huge crowd urging them forward. Pollicano, who can't strike a ball from range, and even he can't score from there. Roberto Pollicano, one of the new faces then in the Napoli side this season. Something of a suspect temperament, no doubt about his talent.
No doubt at all. I think he's going to be very vital because there's an area down the left-hand side where he can manipulate very well because he's naturally...
Go on, you're all right.
I'm saying he could be very important because there's an area down the left-hand side which he can manipulate very well.
This is turn. Away from two defenders. Cross cuts Julio Cesar. Nice tackle, and I think he's injured himself. Certainly a fair tackle. And Julio Cesar with a problem here.
I think it's a very good tackle. Obviously turned one in a very good useful run, and Cesar in emphatic style came across it and made a superb tackle.
Well, this may be rather serious. Certainly no sign of him making a prompt recovery. Andrew there has gone across to see what the problem is. He actually injured his heel in training this week, so it may be a recurrence of that. Let's hope not. There's Vialli, the golden boy of Italian football.
First touch, actually.
Yeah, it may well be. Got a double problem at the moment with Vialli and Julio Cesar. There's Trapattoni in the background there. There must be a worried man. And this after such an encouraging opening by his team too. Well, the cameraman seems to be more interested in Vialli than Julio Cesar. And that's the situation with him at the moment. He is certainly going to need some urgent attention. I don't think it's the ankle though, Paul, do you?
No, it seems like his, I don't know if it's his shin. Yeah, I think they've decided they're going to make a substitution.
And maybe a stretcher needed for Julio Cesar, so that's a real blow for Juventus. Cesar, key defender in the Juve side. Ferrara now pumping it forward, off goes Fonseca. The ball gathering too much pace on the surface.
In actual fact, that's very well played by Köhler. He read the ball, he read the flight of the ball, and rather than make contact with it, he's just got down and let the ball run out of play.
Taken the lead against Ancona. Signorini has scored there. That's a yellow card, and that's directed at Peruzzi, so the referee feeling there's some early time wasting. And Branca has scored for Udinese. That's in their match against Pescara. Now Juventus are going to have to make a substitution. And they're holding up the 9 as well, so it was the 6. Just for a moment then I thought Vialli was going to have to come off as well. Di Marchi is the replacement for Julio Cesar. So some reorganising for them to do. Gone, and it's been a very eventful game so far. There goes Zola. I'm sure that won't be the last time we'll say that this afternoon. He is going to be extremely tightly marked, just as Maradona always was, of course. Here's Turn. Zola's pass to Policano, now then for Turn. He rather mishit that straight into the ground. Marco Antonio Di Marchi, the guy who's come on as a former Bologna player, is out on loan to Roma. European game in midweek when surprisingly Juventus decided to arrest one or two players. Di Marchi, who is a marker. So they have swapped a defender for a defender, as you would expect at this stage. Fonseca now for Napoli. Zola. Yeah, such neat, close control by Zola. There's Turk firing it through. They haven't really extended Peruzzi as yet.
No, I mean, some of their approach play has been reasonably good by Napoli, but the situation is at present is that they're not really tested the goalkeeper, and everything that's coming his way he's comfortably dealing with.
Challenge from Policano, and there the sad sight of Julio Cesar. Oh, that's terrible behaviour. Look at that. Well, they're actually throwing missiles. That is unbelievable. Well, that is sick behaviour. Almost defies belief. The player seriously injured, and the fans are throwing missiles down towards the stretcher.
It's funny, Peter, because I remember when I was playing in Italy, certainly in the south, there was a lot of high unemployment, a lot of economic problems, and I think that was reflected sometimes by the nature of the people. They're very hostile there, whereas in the north, in places like Turin and some of the bigger cities where circumstances are a lot better, and I think sometimes it's a reflection of their mentality sometimes. I feel the long-lost people sometimes down there.
Well, I don't care what the causes are, there's no excuse for that. That is terrible. Corradini taking the throw. Napoli with a lot of possession now. Juventus having to soak up the pressure after the fillip of that early goal. Of course, they can be so dangerous on the break with players like Baggio and Vialli around. And here's Vialli now. Tino trying to get back at him. Gallia. Here's Vialli. Turn a firm tackle. No foul. Play on, says the referee. Zola's pass. Trying to set Fonseca away, but war around the ground. Fonseca already a firm favourite here. Helping the fans to forget Diego. Who makes his debut, incidentally, for Seville, his new club today. That'll be a still-out crowd too, I'm sure. Policano now. Goes Correca, trying to force an opening. He's done. He's committed a foul in the process. Second goal for Lazio. I'm just hearing Diego Fuser, who started the season so well. He has ended a second goal there for Gascoigne's team. And Massaro has equalised for Milan away to Fiorentina. Daniel Massaro. Now Policano is going to have to come off. Maybe that little skirmish a couple of minutes ago has produced an injury for him. Massimo Mauro, who came on the last time we saw Napoli, is going to do so a little earlier this time. 25 minutes gone. Napoli trailing. Now they have to make a substitution as well. 30 years old now, Mauro. Very experienced player. Around 300 league games. And he has played with the best of them. Off goes Carbone. Zola will be involved. Here's Zola. So many tricks up his sleeve. What does he have here?
Very close. That was an excellent header. As we always knew that anything that was going to be created by Napoli, Zola was going to be the key man in it. And obviously Pereira, showing his aerial power, was very unlucky to score score a goal here. An excellent header, rises well above curler and just misses the post.
So a let-off bet for Juventus. Here's Vialli now. Baggio. Now Vialli with the strength then to hold on to the tackle. He leads the line with such vigour, Vialli. This is Conte, who's been very impressive for Juventus in the early matches. Something of a revelation for them. And with all the competition for places at Juve, he's the one name that seems to go on the score sheet for anybody's at the moment. Along with his fellow, of course, Roberto Baggio. Still wearing the ponytail. What do you think about footballers wearing ponytails, Paul? Oh, yes, you wear one.
I think mine's a bit longer than his though.
Baggio with the kick. Vialli almost got a touch. Gallia. Barara. Trying to hold off Di Marchi. And the referee, I think, has ruled in favour. I think he has of Napoli. This is Mauro. He's a very elegant player. And a match winner on his day. Turn now. Carboni. Towards Fonseca. Just lost his footing. This is Turn. Good running by Fonseca. And he's a very difficult man to contain and makes those gouging runs down the middle. Bad tackle on Berla. That's going to be a yellow card. Berla. He was very late there.
But this is about the referee. I mean, he set out to stall the referee. He's been very resolute, very militant in his decisions, and he's keeping firm control of the game.
Berla. He's been playing so well for Juventus, the man they signed from Eintracht Frankfurt. He's getting that midfield berth ahead of David Platt. 3 goals from Berla so far in Serie A. Gallia now. Ran straight into Corradini. Napoli almost getting themselves into a battle at the back. They've got away with it. Carboni. First half, Napoli finding Juve hard to break down, even though Julio Cesar has had to go off through injury. Mauro. Showing too much of that to Di Marchi. They're dropping down like 9-pins in this game. Every bit the close contest we expected, Paul.
Yes, certainly so. One thing that's impressed me, Peter, has been the willingness and the determination of both sides. Juventus haven't lost Julio Cesar. They've not been too threatened at the back. I think what's important now is Napoli slowly start building their play. I think what's important is if they're just throwing balls willy-nilly into the air, they're liable to be counter-attacked by Juventus.
Half an hour gone. Napoli a goal down to Juventus. Roberto Baggio after only 5 minutes. Well, that is developing into an absorbing contest. Berla. Vialli. There's some space down this right flank. Goes Baggio, released by Mauro. Who comes away with the ball. Zola. Fabulous goal by Zola. Produce the pass for match. Carboni. It's Dino Baggio. Now then for Vialli. Vialli with just the 1 goal in Serie A this season to his credit so far. By the end of the campaign.
looks very comfortable. Obviously, he's not unruffled by the departure of his fellow defender, but credit is due to Juventus. While Napoli are pushing forward, they're still defending resolutely.
Zola, faced by Gallia. Confronted by too many defenders. Here's Merla. Held by Tarantino. He pleads his innocence. The referee not interested. Ozier has pulled the goal back for Parma, so it's now Lazio 2, Parma 1. Of course, you'll be able to see highlights from that game in Scoring's own show on Channel 4 next Saturday morning from 10:30. Well worth review, that one. Now, it's Lazio 3 now. Signori has scored. It's his second of the game. This season, Signori, the Italian international, who goes up front for Lazio. Pereira, back on his feet. On his international cap, his only cap so far against San Marino back in February. Jurgen Kohler taking the kick. Towards Vialli. That one skidded away from him. Lentini has now given Milan the lead away to Fiorentina. Remember, they were a goal down early on when Baiano scored. Now 2-1 up. And it's Torino 1, Sampdoria 1. Salenzi the scorer. Holding firm at the back. Trapattoni, the master tactician, so much success for Juve in his first spell. 6 titles in 10 seasons. And he was off to Inter. He won the championship for them as well before returning to Juventus, where he hopes to repeat his earlier successes. Wonder whether he would be sufficiently motivated on coming back to the club where he had so much success. And I think his salary of £600,000 a year doesn't clear up anything on that. You're not so far with that. Go on, I've heard about you English footballers. Zola now. Mauro. Vialli's touch. Gallia prodding it forward. Baggio with the header. It's Baggio now. This is where he could be so dangerous, just probing at defences. Sliding it through and just beyond Vialli. When he scores goals, he makes goals to Baggio, and he very nearly set up an opening then for Vialli. What's your verdict on Vialli, Paul, from what you've seen of him?
Well, what's impressed me about Vialli, apart from his ability to do things and create and improvise, I mean, he works so hard for his team, and you know, to be fair to him, he's working so hard today that, you know, it's a shame that he's not going to be rewarded with a goal. But I'm sure that the way they're playing at present, he could be in with a chance or two.
Yes, he was back helping out defensively a few minutes ago, Vialli. They have some defending to do here, Juve, having conceded the corner, which Massimo Mauro is going to take. Tarantino has come up from the back, Correca in there too, and Fonseca. Vialli, showing too much belligerence then. Muller to Baggio. Muller again, that's good skill by him. Good strike too! And Gali, I don't think was able to get a hand to that. Luckily for him, he didn't need to. That was an excellent strike then by Muller.
That's what he does very well. He scored 3 goals already this season, and it could have been a 4th.
And in fact, he did get a touch. It's a corner. Just showing that Lazio are now 4-1 up against Parma, and Gaza, I'm told, is having a blinder. What a man he is. Baggio with the corner, turn away. And it's a great lift for the English going to see Paul Gascoigne back in business. And I'm sure Graham Taylor is watching that game with a great deal of interest. Temptation might be there to include him from the start against Norway.
Oh, every possibility. I mean, it's wonderful to see after his injury scare last week that was only minor, and he's back and showing the Paul Gascoigne, you know, showing what he can do.
Mari. This is Corradini. Well, then to Correca. Fabulous control again by Correca. In by turn. Fonseca couldn't get there before Jurgen Kohler. One of the outstanding markers in world football. The World Cup winner, of course, Jurgen Kohler with the Germans back in 1990. Mauro to Fonseca. And an easy catch for Peruzzi. Just talking about Correca, you've got a memory of Correca, Paul, haven't you, from your days with Pisa?
Yes, I remember my final game for Pisa in 1989. It was actually at the Sao Paulo, and Correca was in outstanding form, and I remember marking him and shaking his hand at the end of the game, and I'm recalling to myself that was the nearest I got to him in the whole 90 minutes.
I'm sure he remembers you. They gave you a shirt, didn't they?
Yeah, I asked kindly for his shirt, and he gave it to me with delight.
Dino Baggio. Juventus, though, seem to have got their act together now at the back, having had to reshape, reorganise after the loss of Julio Cesar. This is Janus' turn, the former Benfica player. Mauro. Easy ball through. Correca. Lovely turn.
That's what we've come to expect of Correca. Obviously, his presence back into the side today is going to give him an absolute lift. That's where he does well, when he's got the ball to his feet and he's facing the goal, and even when he's got his back to the goal, he can be so masterful in his day.
5 minutes to half time. You keep his shirt, by the way?
Yes, I've still got it.
I hope you've washed it by now. It was 4 years ago.
Well, he didn't have to work that hard in 1989, so I can assure you it's still very dry.
Baggio. Tackle initially by turn. Juventus win it back again. They've set about their task with great determination today, Juventus. So too in fairness of Napoli. Juventus are having to backpedal again. Fonseca has carved an opening for himself then, with his own individual skill. Corradini. Tarantino. This is Mauro. Operating on that left side now with Policano having gone off. And that's a foul on Mauro by Conte. Free kick, and it squirmed across the goal then, and just a bit embarrassed Peruzzi, who looks very relaxed though and assured in the Juventus goal. Bocconi, of course, a hard act to follow. Fiorentina 1, Milan 3 now, and Ruud Gullit back in the Milan side has scored their third goal, so they're fully into their stride now. That sounds like quite a game in Florence. And we will, of course, bring you all the latest scores from the other matches in Serie A during the half-time interval. And that should be coming along in about 3 minutes from now. Shooting chance for him. It took a deflection. Peruzzi got down well. Might just have been deceived then by the deflection, but he kept his eye on it and smothered the shot.
That was a good strike. But Napoli, the final ball seems to be better now. What we saw previously, where they were playing very well, trying to thread their way through, but with Kohler outstanding in defence, they were finding it very difficult.
Such a big part in their championship success 2 seasons ago, and hoping to make an impact for Napoli here. But again, Juventus clear their lines. Mainly on the defensive now, Juventus, after that early strike from Baggio. This is the other Baggio, Dino. Sunshine now in Naples. With a large share of possession in the first half. They can't find a way to perforate this Juventus defence. Pari working so diligently on Napoli's behalf. Paradini. Ran straight into Vialli. They might be stretched here if Juventus can break quickly. They can't do so because Jurgen Kohler has been fouled. Jurgen Kohler, who's a very calm and quiet man off the field, but he's a hard man out there, isn't he?
Without doubt. I think in actual fact, he's been playing like a colossus in the first half. He's coped with everything that Napoli's had to throw at him, so dominating in the air and reached the game very well with sound distribution.
Now Gallia, as we move into the last minute of the first half. Dino Baggio to Vialli. Now Roberto Baggio. Still Baggio. He's got Vialli in the penalty box. Trying to force the corner. No, it's a goal kick to Napoli. On from turn. We're now into time added on for stoppages at the end of this first half. Just a question of the amount of time that the referee has added on, and there certainly will be some time when you look back on the injuries we've had in the first half, in particular for Julio Cesar. Pari. On from Zola, that Correca has a lovely spot from him. Down goes Mauro, half-hearted appeals for a penalty. Vialli, again back there helping out. And it has mainly been a rear-guard action for Juve since that early goal. Pari. Here's Zola. Lethal with either foot, but unable to hit the target.
That was a good effort by Zola. What's impressed me most in particularly about Juventus is the way they've defended so resolutely. They've got the early goal through Baggio, and at times Vialli in particular, he's been working against 3 defenders and he's been working himself into the ground, and as we've seen on many occasions, he's worked so hard off the ball to tackle, and which will obviously be beneficial to his teammates.
Yes, I think the feeling has been so far this season that he's been a bit isolated up front there, Vialli. Baggio certainly isn't playing as an outright striker. They've left out Casiraghi too. He's not been in the starting lineup really. He's certainly among the substitutes, an Italian international, Casiraghi. So that's an option they have, but for the moment, I think they're quite happy with the way things are going. Apart from all these injuries, and here's another one. And that does not look too promising at all. Vital for Juve to win a trophy or two this season. So much expected of them, of course, as the glamour club of Italian football, a record 22 championships.
I think actually what's on the plus side for them, Peter, I mean the fact they've got Ravanelli and Casiraghi on the bench, obviously two forward players, two outstanding players, and possibly last year where Trapattoni so often being criticised of being defensive-minded. I think they've got the options here, you know, in their forward play, which could possibly, if they get the continuity and consistency, lead to them winning a major trophy.
Baggio with the free kick. Inevitably up towards Vialli. Ferrara pumping it upfield though for Napoli. Here's Turn. It goes Pari. Seen a lot of the ball in the first half in that anchor role for Napoli. Again, a driving forward once more. Off goes Zola, faced by Di Bacchi and a whole posse of defenders. Mauro now delicately through towards Fonseca. Again, Juventus get it away. Now Turn trying to do exactly that. Baggio wins it back. That'll be a free kick to Juve. More frustration for Napoli, and for Jonas Turn in particular. Jonas Turn, who was captain of the Swedish national team in the recent European Championships, and has settled quickly and well with Napoli, as many Swedes have done in Italian football. They've had a good record down the years. We've had now over 4 minutes of injury time, and I suppose that isn't too surprising, really, when you consider all the knocks we've had in the first 45 minutes. Vialli. Vialli, who's been far less occupied in the first half than Peruzzi, nonetheless, has seen one goal sail past him. And there's the end of the first half at last. A good first half, though, it's been. Juventus with the early goal from Roberto Baggio after just 5 minutes. Then Napoli having most of the play without managing to find the equaliser. 1-0 Juventus lead at half-time. We're back after the break. You can join us then for Gazza's Golden Goals competition. Gazza having a cracking match today for Lazio.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I?
Have a look at these golden goals. The best 6 of those scored in Serie A last weekend. Match your top 3 with Paul Gascoigne's and you could win a luxury trip to Italy. Goal number 1, scored by Daniel Fonseca of Napoli against Ancona. Goal number 2, this was from Maurizio Gans for Atalanta against Cagliari. Goal number 3, Enzo Francescoli in the same game. Goal number 4, scored by Igor Shalimov for Inter in a 2-2 draw with Fiorentina. Goal number 5 from Stefano Cuoghi for Parma in their win over Brescia. And finally, goal number 6, scored by Pescara's Stefano Boganovo, the second of the 2 goals he scored in the final 2 minutes against Torino. To enter our Golden Goals competition, just ring Gazza on the following number: 0891 555 444. That's 0891 555 444. And vote for your top 3 choices. The first caller picked out by our computer next Friday, whose selection matches Paul Gascoigne's, will go into a playoff for a superb end-of-the-season trip to the Italian Cup final. And they can choose a complete kit of the Italian team of their choice. For runners-up, there'll be copies of Channel 4's brand new Italian football magazine, due out shortly. And the winner of last week's Golden Goals competition, whose choice matched Paul Gascoigne's, was Ali Clark of Bicester in Oxford. Her choice as the best goal from last week's competition was this one, scored by Pasquale De Vincenzo of Foggia against Roma. Second place went to David Platt, with Attilio Lombardo placed third. And here are our runners-up, who placed them in the correct order: 4, 2, 6. Finally, a reminder of this week's 6 goals. That number to ring again, 0891 555 444. The lines are open until next Friday lunchtime. The winners will be chosen then and announced at this time in next week's programme.
Welcome back to Italian football on Channel 4. This is the Sao Paulo Stadium in Naples, our featured game. 1 goal so far, Napoli 0, Juventus 1. And the only goal scored by Roberto Baggio, the captain of Juventus, after 5 minutes. Now, there have been plenty of other goals on the scene in Serie A this afternoon. Brescia are leading Foggia by 2 goals to 0. Radicciu, the Romanian, gave them the lead. Sorini, the other goal. That's 2-0 then to Brescia. Cagliari 0, Roma 0. Fiorentina 1, Milan 4. That's some recovery by Milan. They were a goal down, remember, Baiano after 13 minutes. 2 goals from Massaro, 1 from Lentini, the world's most expensive player, and the other goal from Ruud Gullit, back in the Milan side. Genoa are leading Ancona by 3 goals to 2. Ancona, the whipping boys of Serie A, at this stage of the season anyway. Detari scoring 1 of their goals. Genoa, 2 from Scurabi, the Czechoslovakian striker who missed the game against Lazio last week because of injury. He's back with a vengeance. 2 goals from him. Signorini, the sweeper, with their other goal. Genoa leading Ancona by 3 goals to 2. Inter 0, Atalanta 0. Montero of Atalanta has been sent off there. Lazio are leading Parma by 4 goals to 2. 2 from Ossio for Parma, cancelled out, and how by Signori with a penalty after Gascoigne had been brought down. Fusa and Signori again with a second for Lazio. Torino, the leaders, 1, Sampdoria 1. It was an own goal that gave Sampdoria the lead, and Torino's reply from Silenzi. And Udinese 2, Pescara 1, Branca and Balbo from Udinese, and Pescara's goal from Borgonovo. So just while we wait for the teams to come out for the second half in Naples, let's just look back on 1 or 2 of the outstanding moments from the first 45 minutes. And here's the first goal, the only goal scored by Roberto Baggio, and there was a slip there by Ferreira. Paul Elliott, you can take it up from there.
Well, it was a slip, but Muller does very well in terms of his penetration, and what a finish it was by Joe. I mean, as you can see, I think his turn actually was trying to pull him back, and Beja picks up the ball very well here. He's got 4 players around him. They're all too frightened to come near him because they know how much ability and talent he's got, and he manages to find time to squeeze it in. I mean, that's the hallmarks of a terrific player, a player that can do those kinds of things under severe duress.
Well, it was a quality finish, and this was nearly a goal for Napoli. Zola's cross, and it's Ferrara there at the far post ball.
Well, Zola, I mean, it's a terrific ball by Zola, away from the goalkeeper, and Ferreira does very well and comes in and attacks the ball, something that he does very well, and was unfortunate not to hit the target.
Now, Andreas Möller, who's the man who's keeping out David Platt, had a reasonably quiet first half, I suppose you'd say, but that was an excellent effort from him there.
Yeah, that's what he does very well. He's one of these midfield players that can break into the box and score goals, but on that occasion, he has a very good shot, and obviously the goalkeeper makes a very good save.
What are your thoughts on the situation with David Platt, who's having to sit this one out, watching from the sidelines? What do you think his chances are of getting a regular place?
Well, obviously, I'm going to be slightly biased because obviously, being English, I want David to play, as I'm sure, as much as everybody else. But he's got a very difficult situation at present, and we're hoping, that things can obviously get better for him. With the full extent of Cesar's injury is not known. I mean, it seems possibly that it could be a broken leg, certainly from where he was getting a lot of the discomfort. And if that's going to be the case, somebody else's misfortunes has a silver lining for another party. Hopefully it could be in David's case.
Well, I'm sure that's not the way David Platt would have liked it, but it certainly seems that is a very strong possibility that Julio Cesar will be out for a while, and that under the reorganisation, David Platt would find a place in the side. Trapattoni, the coach, incidentally, has said to David Platt, if he was Italian, he'd be in every week. But of course, he's one of the foreigners, and only 3 of them can play. And Tony Stevens, his agent, David Platt's agent, was saying beforehand that had they signed Bjerkevod from Sampdoria, that might have resolved it too, because he could have played at the back, and Julio Cesar might not have got into the side. They might not have needed him. And then, of course, David Platt could have played. Anyway, that didn't happen. Bjerkevod decided not to come after all, so that's all hypothetical. David Platt will have to force his way back into the side. Certainly the signs would be that with Julio Cesar's injury, he may not have to wait too long. Now, Correca for Napoli, having to fight their way back in this game. It's certainly on a knife edge. Juventus certainly won't be feeling for that 1 goal is enough.
Well, no, I mean, but I feel at the same time, Peter, the onus is on Napoli as well.
Well, that's Correca's header! Too far away there.
As I said previously, the onus is on Napoli. They are the home side. I feel they've got to win the initiative, and Juventus, what they do very well is defend very resolutely. But there, it was a marvellous ball from Zola, and Correca gets in a magnificent header which just goes past the post.
Correca, with 15 goals last season, was the leading scorer for Napoli, and he scored 67 in all now since he's arrived in Naples, South America, back in the late 80s. Fantastic signing for them, no question. There's Jonas turn. That took a little nick. No problem though for Peruzzi, who has looked very confident so far. I hope for his sake, those aren't famous last words. Turns pass to Carbone. On goes Fonseca, didn't reach him though. The Napoli throw. They've taken up the sword again here at the start of the second half. Juventus content to sit back and hope to soak it all up. A goal could change that though. They've got a chance developing here. Juventus have got away with it. Möller. Vialli, who was at one end of the field just now is at the other. Corradini's pass. Mauro. Here's Zola. trying to thread it on towards Correca, who's coming into some very close attention, as you'd expect for such a renowned striker. 32 now, Correca. There's been no let up in his firepower. Is the flag up? It is. The moment then the fans in the stadium. Fonseca was in the clear, the linesman was flagging.
A deft pass again by Zola. You can see, Peter, that he's going to have a big influence on this game. Everything he seems to do seems to make them tick. I mean, he's got an excellent range of pass, and as we've seen there on a one and two occasions, that he's going to pose a real threat.
It's all happening in Florence. It's now Fiorentina 2, Milan 4, and Stefan Effenberg, the German international, has got another one back there for Fiorentina. Remember, they were a goal up. Now it's 4-2 to Milan. Corradini to Tan. Carbone outside him. Carbone, former Milan player. So outstanding at the back, and so much resting on his shoulders now with Julio Cesar having gone off. Carrera has switched to the sweeper role, and he has played there before, so it's not an unfamiliar position for him. Very theatrical dive then by Vialli. Who was the main strike force in the Sampdoria side that won the title back in '91. Another free kick awarded for another foul on Vialli. And I wonder how prepared this referee, how patient rather this referee is prepared to be with his track record. 10 sendings off in 13 matches. Baggio with Vialli. It's Baggio again. He's got support up this time. It's pushing surely in the area. I presume Corradini heard the whistle as he picked the ball up. Deafening atmosphere though around the stadium. Here's Corradini now pouring forward. Didn't find Correca though. Zola taking over. Good work by Zola. Carbone. Zola's gone for the return pass. And such fine running by Zola. Feels for a penalty as Fonseca went in. The referee just turned away and ran off up the field, leaving Fonseca to argue with himself. 6 minutes into the second half. Napoli are still a goal down. But they're certainly asking some questions now of Juventus.
Well, in actual fact, that was a marvellous piece of play by Zola, because he actually won the ball, passed the ball, and still got in the box and got on the end of the ball, and put in a marvellous cross. And Cola and Correca seemed to be involved in an incident, but the referee played very well indeed.
Yes, they had Correca in there, Fonseca in there too. It was certainly a threat to Juventus. But the referee saw nothing wrong. There's the pass from Turn, an excellent one too. Down goes Fonseca. These appeals are getting rather desperate though. But will they sway the referee? There have been some rather dubious penalties we've seen this season already in Italy. They do tend to give them for some rather unusual causes. Nothing wrong there though.
No, I mean that was good play by Cola. He looked in complete control, knew exactly what he was doing.
Ferrara, Party, Turn. Ferrara now joining in the attack. Now what can Correca do here? Just took it too far. And the referee, who was perfectly placed, pointed without hesitation then for a goal kick. And I think he was absolutely right.
Yes, he was. You can see just a few signs of frustration setting in now in the Napoli players. I mean, they're 1-0 down, they're chasing the game. At various times their final ball seems to be a bit off, but I would have liked Correca to do better in that position, because that's where he likes it. 1v1 inside the box, and would have liked to see a bit of the old Correca magic to try and create something for Napoli.
They need a spark from somewhere now, Napoli. Some of their approach play has been excellent. They haven't had the finishers yet. Mauro. Brushed aside, though, by Baggio. It was a very sound game. Baggio, who's now won 2 caps for Italy. That's Dino Baggio. Following his move from Torino via Inter, where he'd been on loan. Baggio to Gallia. Carbone. And then to Corradini. The sweeper in the Napoli side. A role he's taken over from Laurent Blanc, a Frenchman who was recently linked with Nottingham Forest. Nothing seems to have come of that. And he's now with Nîmes back in France. Baggio. Deft control by him. Here's Vialli. Got 4 up in this attack. Another dive by Vialli. And he's not too happy about some of the treatment that he's receiving. And I think 1 or 2 of his teammates there are just telling him to calm down a little. Juventus are still leading. And what a lift a second goal would be for them now. Baggio, the captain's armband. Hoping to inspire something by his own example. Tantalising cross in towards Vialli. This is Dino Baggio. 10 minutes into the second half. Bola. Dino Baggio. And he's pulled the cross behind. Blow to Napoli's title hopes, even at this early stage, if they drop 2 more points today. They really haven't started as convincingly as many pundits expected them to. Side of much flair and imagination at the moment. No finishing power. Here's Zola. Again, fabulous skill by him. And from Correca too. Now Jonas turn. Again, forcing Juve back on the defensive. Ferrara. Fonseca, now Mauro. It goes little Zola. No real chance, though, of him reaching that one in the air. He's not renowned for his heading ability. It's his silky touch that has made his reputation. As has this fellow's Roberto Baggio. Glorious pass through Möller, and that's the second. Another goal for Juventus, Andreas Möller. And Napoli now are in deep trouble. 56 minutes gone, and it's 2-0 to Juventus.
It was a glorious ball by Baggio. Müller makes an outstanding run, and the left foot finish, excellent. Galli left no chance there.
Well, there's an air of disbelief now around the stadium among these Napoli fans who've seen their team dominate, but now go a second goal behind. Andreas Möller, who's hit a rich vein of form. That's 4 goals then. An excellent start to his Italian league career. And it's an uphill task now facing Napoli. 2 goals down, despite their domination in terms of possession. Of course, they were 2 down to Inter, and lost that one recently. Similar situation facing them now against Juventus. Jurgen Kohler. Foul by Fonseca. And the Napoli fans becoming rather disgruntled with it all. Their expectations were so high for the season and certainly for this match, but the team are in deep trouble.
Yes, they are indeed, and certainly in the deep south of Italy, where they're very hostile, they're going to be extremely disappointed. And as we can see, all the various items being thrown onto the pitch, that's their way of expressing their disapproval at their team's performance at this moment in time. But fair play to Juventus. I mean, they've defended extremely well. Probably in terms of possession, Napoli have had greater the ball, but to no end product. And it's two marvellous goals that we've seen here. One made and scored by Baggio.
Ranieri not looking at all happy, and he knows that his team have a long, long way back from here. Latest score, Torino are now leading against Sampdoria by 2-1. Torino the leaders. That's Conte there back on his feet. Aguilera, the Uruguayan international, has scored for Torino. And Belbo has scored a hat-trick for Udinese. They're leading 4-1 in their match against Pescara. So he's having quite a day. So are Juventus here. And you can, of course, see all the goals from the top flight in Italy in Paul Gascoigne's show next Saturday morning on Channel 4 at 10:30. Jonas turn. They need a change of fortune now, Napoli, if they're to get anything out of this game. With Juventus in command. Carbone. Not a bad ball in. And of course, Jurgen Kohler was there. He hasn't missed a thing.
He's been outstanding today. He was all sceptical, certainly when they lost Cesar, what was going to be the circumstances in defence, but obviously he showed that they've done very well.
Fonseca curling over the corner, Peruzzi taking no chances, and then, well, wasteful effort by Jonas Turn. Whistles of derision for the Napoli fans, who are becoming more and more frustrated by the minute. Gali beaten twice. He's really had so little to do apart from seeing those two goals go past him. And the figure we saw there was Fabrizio Ravanelli, who looks about 50 odd, but he's 23. The old grey fox. We might see him in a minute. Just over the hour gone. And Juventus leading Napoli by 2-0. And if it stays this way, it will certainly enhance their title aspirations. Remember, only one win before today for Juve, also for Napoli. Fonseca complaining. Juventus once more defending. Zola is there to organise it. Fonseca too, and Pari. They lost Policano, of course, early on, who has an explosive shot. I would think Zola is going to try something from here. I'm wrong. Ferrara, there's nobody upfield for Juve. Ferrara rather hopefully forward, and that'll go safely back to goalkeeper Peruzzi. Route 1, which is rather rare in Italian football. Not too many hopeful balls pumped upfield. Ferrara there really had no alternative. This is Corradini. Tarantino. Barara. Mauro. Three waiting in the middle. One of them here is Correca. No flag. It goes Fonseca after Correca. Neither of them could apply the finishing touch. And Juve survive again and now launch a counter-attack of their own. Baggio away. Riding the tackle, which was a rather clumsy one. Corradini was lucky to get away with that. He mistimed it. Zola. Napoli badly need a goal now. Mauro. Fonseca. Here's Vialli. Baggio killed the ball in an instant. Trying to send Merler away. Vialli wanted a pass too. Turn now. There's always this danger of the counter-attack from Juve. Correca having to come deep to fetch. Zola. This is Mauro. The crowd wanting more urgency. Quick header from Fonseca. Napoli have got to keep their spirits up. It's the flag that's up. It's offside. Baruzzi, who was put for time wasting in the first half, is in no hurry now. And he's living dangerously with this referee. He'd send someone off in the pre-match warm-up, I think.
I think he did that for somebody saying hello.
He certainly won't for discipline, this official, but in fairness to him, he's kept control of this game very well.
Certainly has.
Almost at the halfway point of the second half. It's Mauro now. Fonseca outside him in towards Correca, who didn't quite have the pace. Correca with just the one goal so far this season. But it was, as I said earlier on, an absolute cracker against Foggia. And how Napoli would relish a goal from him now. Didn't reach that cross though, Correca. Dino Baggio. Hoisting it upfield. There's only Vialli up there. Corradini. Another period of domination from Napoli. Can they turn it into a goal? The honest turn with Ancula. Here's turn. There's a sharp charge down by Conte. Mauro. Wants to get on with it now. Mauro. It's a neat turn by him. Fonseca on that lethal left foot. No obstruction. Away goes Baggio. Here's the break from Juve. Vialli is onside. No, flags up. A little belatedly.
He can consider himself very unlucky, but that's always the problem with Napoli dominating so much. They're getting a lot of possession play, but they're always susceptible to the counter-attack, and it was clearly visible then when Baggio broke from defence and played a ball through to Vialli.
And the referee unhappy with some of the activities on the bench. There's a substitution being made. Jonas Stern has gone off and Kripa has replaced him. Massimo Kripa, former Italian international, who hasn't been able to keep a regular place in the side this season. Out by Carbone. Oh, and there was a headbutt there by Kripa on Conte. Well, we had a perfect view of that. I don't think the referee did, or surely Kripa would have been sent off. Paul?
I think he can consider himself a very lucky young man. I mean, it was clearly evident there that he actually had made contact.
Well, there's Conte now fouling Kripa, and this one is going to boil over. There was a clear headbutt then from Kripa. He'd only just come on the field. been getting rather fired up down on the bench. Zola, that's a teasing, tantalising cross. It goes Mareko, inches away.
That's good play by Zola. He's been Napoli's outstanding player. Always a threat, always probing, always teasing.
Now we are going to see Fabrizio Ravanelli, and I assure you he is only 23. No disrespect to him, but he does look a little older. And it's Conte who's gone off, the player who was headed by Cripper. Well, no, in fact, it's Baggio they're going to take off. I thought Conte had gone off there, but the number 10 has been held up. So the captain is going off. What do you make of that, Paul? Doesn't seem to be injured.
I think it's more probably tactical. I mean, he's a big lad. When he looks like a 40-year-old with a large mortgage and 10 nagging kids, I think that's made him get that grey hair.
Well, he was signed from Reggiana for £3 million. Serie B club. And he scored his first official goal for Juve in their European success in the week. His final goals pre-season. So he is now on. Genoa are now leading Ancona by 4 goals to 2, and it's a hat-trick for Thomas Skuravi, the Czech striker. And there's another goal for Lazio. 5-2 they now lead. Signori with another penalty. And in case you've joined us before, I mentioned early on, Paul Gascoigne is playing. He was brought down for the first goal for Lazio, a penalty by Signori also. And well, the word was he was playing very well. Now that's another yellow card. Conte in trouble again, at least in terms of he being the player injured. And it's Mauro who has received the yellow card. Napoli's frustration, Paul, looks to be boiling over.
Certainly does so. I mean, there appears to be no way through Juventus, only apart from the brilliance of Zola. But I mean, it seems like they've comfortably got the points here unless something dramatic happens, but it's only going to be that man Zola who can actually weave his way through the defence. But the way Cola's playing at present, it only seems like a likely error by the Juventus defence. That seems to be the only conceivable way they're going to score at present.
Trapattoni still wanting even more urgency from his side as they defend this lead. Bola, who scored the decisive second goal, has given Juventus this cushion. Napoli throw, taken by Pari. And off come Napoli once more. This is Mauro. Are leading Roma by a goal to 0, and Inter are a goal up against Atalanta. Ruben Sosa with a penalty, the scorer for Inter. So goals now in every game in Serie A this afternoon. And you can see each and every one of them in Gazza's programme next Saturday. Don't forget, 10:30, Channel 4. And are we going to see more goals in this game now? Well, Napoli is certainly hoping so. 2 down and really up against it. Towards Zola, didn't reach him though. Gonzalez was there. Now Vialli. Placed by Cripper, who to my mind should not still be on the field after his dreadful assault on Conte. Goal kick to Napoli. The Schlagerando Ferrara. Trying to find Fonseca and Correca, the front two. We've got so little change out of Jurgen Kohler and De Marchi, and also Torricelli playing at the back for Juve today. This is De Marchi. Conte. Corradini for Napoli. The fans doing their best to lift their side. So is Zola now. Again, teasing defenders. Good effort by Zola. He's been outstanding for Napoli, and most certainly does not deserve to be on the losing side if it should turn out that way.
Zola's had an excellent game. It was a marvellous shot. Gallia's been patrolling him all afternoon, but on this occasion, you know, he's weaved the ball past him and managed to find enough space to give himself an excellent shot.
Mauro. That's Ferrara marauding up front. Captain of Napoli. Vialli. Conte. Picking out Vialli, who's run and run this afternoon. He's got through so much work for Juve. It's another fine ball in too, and almost found Ravanelli. Ferrara's got back now. Here's Ravanelli. A quarter of an hour to go. Dino Baggio. This is Merla. Baggio. Riding one tackle, and then he was tripped. And while there's an injury, news of another goal in Serie A. And, well, I suppose he had to get one sometime. Marco van Basten has now scored for Milan. 5-2, they lead away to Fiorentina. And a reminder, Lazio are 5-2 up as well for Gascoigne's side. Juventus 2 up here. And Trapattoni, the coach, knowing his team still have some defending to do, although not for the moment. Because Juve have an opportunity from this free kick. And harmlessly, it sails over the bar. Gascoigne has come off now. 75 minutes he played today, and he left the field to a standing ovation. I think he's back in business. Just needs match fitness now, Gaza. Certainly showed some exquisite touches last week in the match against Genoa, and apparently he's fared even better today. And how the crowd in Rome have walked to him, at least one half of Rome. Not sure about the Roma fans, but Lazio fans love him. The dangerous ball crossed in there. Again, dealt with so well, though, by Juve. But now they've given it away. Mauro. Here's Kripa. There seemed to be no way through. Kripa's shot charged down by Carrera. Ravanelli's pass. Goes Merla. Now Gallia. Tried to forge a partnership with Vialli. Didn't come off though. Zola, clever flick again. Carbone. Mauro. Juventus again pinned back in their own half. Ferrara. Ferreira's interception was a good one. Conte. They have defended so superbly, Juventus, and it's set them up for what looks like being a victory for them, unless Napoli can turn it round. kick to Juve. Mola's down. Vialli's down in sympathy. Well, clearly he was caught then by the tackle. Andreas Müller. So he is going to need some treatment now, and Ranieri, he knows time is beginning to run out for his side. You really feel now, Paul, they've got to get a goal pretty quickly.
Certainly has to. I mean, he has to take a gamble and probably push an extra midfield man forward or make a substitution. It seems the only way through at the moment, because I'm sure if they can get a goal back, then automatically the change of the game will change, which obviously could be to their benefit.
Mola seems to be okay now. Juventus have this free kick. So another test for Giovanni Galli, the most experienced player in Serie A. Minutes remaining. And Juve aren't prepared to commit everybody forward, that's for sure. Ravanelli with Vialli. Oh! Marvelous goal by Vialli! Oh, that's a magnificent strike. And that settled it now. 3-0 for Juventus. And that's the hallmark of a great player.
A wonderful free kick. I was just thinking actually that Baggio's off the pitch, and that's the kind of position that he certainly likes to take up when taking free kicks. But it's a very simple free kick, and what an absolutely magnificent finish. Totally deserved.
Just touched off, only just touched too by Ravanelli, and it was curled delightfully into the corner by Vialli.
No goalkeeper in the world will have stopped that one, Peter.
Well, there aren't many goalkeepers better than Giovanni Galli, and he was nowhere near getting to that one. Tremendous goal by Vialli. 3-0 to Juve. It's all over now. The goal on 79 minutes. And that has stunned the Napoli fans. Still they persevere. Correca. And that's greeted with whistles too from the Napoli fans. Ferrara just couldn't keep his shot on the target. And it's turning into a very, very disappointing afternoon for Napoli. But equally, full credit to Juventus. They're the away side. They've come here, they've defended resolutely, they've defended magnificently, they've weathered the storm, and equally they've got the creativity, the ability, like people Vialli, Müller, Baggio, to score goals, and certainly that's what they were lacking last season, that attacking invention, and it looks like Trapattoni's got it right at the moment. Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, it's going to develop into a tremendous tussle for the championship race if Juve can't raise their game as they have done today. We've got Milan still storming away at the top. Torino going so well. Cross it just was too deep. No foul. I mean, you still have to say Milan the favourites, but there are going to be some other contenders too, aren't there?
Certainly will.
So it's all shaping up rather nicely. Cripper now. Correca, hounded by Ravanelli. This is Correca, Zola. And the free kick's been given, the foot was high. Zola, who was trying to wriggle through. Conjure up here. Surely too late to save the game. With only 7 minutes to go, Baruzzi, though, will want to keep a clean sheet. He's played so well. Juventus with just about everybody back. Ferrara wanting to join the wall. The Napoli player. That's gone through and into the corner. And Napoli have got one back. Fonseca. Another classic strike. Well, maybe it isn't too late. It will certainly give Napoli fresh hope. And rather similar, Paul, to the goal at the other end.
Certainly was. It was an excellent strike. A marvellous consolation goal. He's left Peruzzi with no chance, and hopefully this could be the incentive now that Napoli need.
Well, it certainly keeps them in with a fighting chance. And Juventus will have to look to their laurels, stay on their mettle now in defending what has become a more slender lead than it looked a few minutes ago. And certainly another goal would give us a grandstand finish. Fonseca, that's 11 goals now for him in this extraordinary start to the season for him. He seems to score in every match. And they sign from Cagliari. Cripples pass on. Fonseca chasing. A tremendous prospect. He actually came to Italy on the back of Uruguay's performances in the World Cup of 1990. And did extremely well with Cagliari. His goals kept them up. And then Napoli stepped in when Juventus, ironically, didn't bother to take up their option on him. What's the trip? Is that inside the area? Just outside. Fonseca says inside. The referee says no, look, it's here. Napoles coming on. From disgruntled spectators. Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, it was rather close.
I'd give a penalty, actually, Peter. There's no doubt in my mind that there was contact there as he was approaching it, actually inside of the area.
Well, all kinds of objects are coming on now. Fruit of all descriptions. Even bottles there, look. Passionate afternoon in Naples. And as with anywhere, the home fans don't like it when their team lose. Fiorentina 3, Milan 6, I'm hearing now. What an extraordinary game that sounds. 45 goals in Serie A this afternoon. That's a record. Boring old league, isn't it? Now, Zola. Another delicate chip through. That's Tarantino. Even he's come forward now and showing a neat piece of skill too. Borodini has no flag. And Napoli have got it back to 2-3. Zola with 4 minutes to go. Grandstand finish after all.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's amazing.
The save here was absolutely wonderful from Peruzzi. A wonderful save by Fonseca. And who's there? He deserves that goal, Zola. He's been outstanding all afternoon for Napoli, but now we've got a great game on our hands now.
What a climax to this game. 2-3. Napoli right back in there now. Thanks to Zola's goal, his second of the season. Gallia, Juventus through again, and Gallia into the side netting. No time to pause for breath here. Mauro up towards Fonseca, who was denied by that brilliant save by Peruzzi. Fantastic stop. He is renowned as a shot stopper, Peruzzi, and he lived up to his reputation then. Happy to hit it anywhere. Just over 2 minutes to go. Mauro for Napoli. Juventus. Almost everybody back in their own half. Indeed, at the moment, everyone is. Now Vialli's gone forward. Vialli on the chase. Can't get there, though, because Tarantino was in for the intervention. Then Vialli clawing back at him. Muller. Have we written Napoli off too soon? Fonseca. Mauro. What excitement in Naples. Correca. Can't quite get there with Cola. Desperate defending by Juve. Peruzzi to the rescue.
Marvellous. I mean, the game is really opening up now. Juve, all of a sudden, from being so assured in defence, they look very suspect now. Napoli are piling on the pressure, and it's a shame they didn't do this earlier.
Well, that will be the views, I'm sure, of Ranieri, the coach. Now, here's a chance for Ravanelli. Attention right to the last.
Unbelievable game. I think he robs the ball there from the defender, and he's in a 1v1 situation. I mean, he does very well here. The defender left stranded there, and he's on a 1v1 with the goalkeeper on his best foot, his left foot.
So Napoli are still hoping. Cola's header wasn't a decisive one. It's a corner to Napoli. Can't be too long to go now. Just a few seconds of normal time. There will be some time added on by the referee, I'm sure. We have had injuries. Here's Mauro. Down he goes. And the referee turned away. He's going to be under siege here. Well, in fairness to the Napoli players, they've accepted his decision. It was certainly a dive by Mauro. Whether there was contact or not, I think I need to look at that again. Shake of the head then from Trapattoni, who can't believe that his team are under this pressure now. Well, we're not going to have too much time at the end of the match, so we're going to try to bring you the other scores now from the other games. It's hoisted forward by Ferrara, and there they are. Pressure beaten Foggia. Look at that win for Milan, 7-3 away to Fiorentina, 4-4 Genoa and Ancona, 5-2 Lazio against Parma. And it's Napoli 2, Juventus 3 at the moment. Ravanelli, we've now had a minute of time added on. Gallia. Paul Ellett, your summing up of the afternoon's fare?
It's been a terrific game, terrific goals, bags of incidents from end to end. Napoli realised they retained their self-belief when they got back another goal. But to be fair to Juventus, they deserved to win. They've defended well. They've scored some terrific goals as well. But I'm sure all our viewers will sit back at home and think this is a wonderful game.
It's not over yet. Correca wriggling past one, not past two though. Time here for Carrera, who's happy for the ball to run out. He thinks for a goal kick. Fonseca claims the corner, and the referee is in agreement with Carrera. 2 minutes into injury time. Juventus almost there. Up goes Vialli, or rather Ravanelli. Ravanelli battling, but losing out. Cripper taking the throw quickly. Zola just had his heel clipped there. There is the final whistle, and Juve have held on. 3 goals up. They were really stretched at the end as Napoli came back at them with those late goals, Fonseca and Zola. But it's a win for Juventus in Naples by 3 goals to 2.
For your free Italian football wall chart, send an A4 size stamped addressed envelope to